General Meeting for the Nigerian Society of Engineers, BWARI branch. And our theme is Sustainable Infrastructure, Resilient Nation, Engineering Solutions for Growth and Climate Action. I want to thank each and every one of you present here, suspending your personal activities and being present physically for this auspicious occasion. Want to recognize each and every one of you for being here. You are an important guest. But especially want to recognize the Associate Professor Temi Layo Ogundegbe, HOD of Mechanical Engineering. You are welcome. From Nile University, Nigeria. Please, a hand of applause for them. They came with their full crew from Mechanical Engineering Department. Also, the person we are recognizing is Professor Akim Amuda, also of the Nile University. We also recognize Mr. Felix, Director of Pharmasec Consultancy. Media crew, we see you over there. Thank you. We appreciate all you are doing and will do for this occasion. At this moment, please, can we be all upstanding? The President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, ably represented, is about coming in. Please, let's all be upstanding. The President of Nigerian Society of Engineers is the chairman of the occasion, by name Engineer Ali Mesuya Rabiu, FNSC, EASC, FASC, FANG, MFR. Please, a hand of applause as he moves forward to take his seat. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. He's being ably represented by Engineer Hamid Olayinka Abdulkarim from the NIMEC division. We also welcome our able chairman. Please, you can be. We also welcome our able chairman, Engineer Fumbi Alonge. You can see her. She's the one standing in front. We welcome also, please, as I call you, you come to the front, please. The guest speaker, Engineer Dr. Bola J. Mudasiru, FNSC. He is the acting national chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers. You are welcome, sir. We also have for the keynote speaker, Engineer Dr. Atinuke Wuraola. Please, you can have your seat. Our important dignitaries, please, everybody, you can have your seat. I'm sorry for that. Another keynote speaker we are expecting to come forward is Engineer Dr. Atinuke Wuraola Owolabi, FNSC, member, North Central Development Commission, Southwest representative. We also have here our dear keynote speaker, Engineer Dr. Adekunle Akanmi Adeleke, FIPMD, GYA. He's an associate professor and HOD, Department of Mechanical Engineering from the Nile University. Welcome, sir. Also in our important guest is distinguished guest of honor, Engineer Senator Patrick C. Undubweze, FNSC, Chairman, Senate Committee on Steel. I think he is not present, but we are still waiting for his representative. We also have distinguished guest of honor, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubair Abubakar, FNSC, FA Engine, ably represented by Engineer Dikpo Mobogaje, PhD, FNSC. You are highly welcome, sir. He is popularly known as the Jagaban of engineering. He's also the past chairman of NSE Meitama branch, past president of National Institution of Facility Managers. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much for making this occasion. Of course, I've also already recognized our able chairman who has been able to hold this branch down for 2 years. She's the host, Engineer Fumbi Babatunde Alonge, MNSC, MNSCHE. She's the chairman of NSE BWARI branch. Also, another person worthy of note is Engineer Muhammad T. Babakobi, FNSC, FIMC. He's been our branch patron. Please, a hand of applause for him. Another branch patron we have here is Engineer Henry Ikemefuna Obi, FNSC, F9 He's also one of our branch patrons. Also of recognition is Engineer Dr. Fumi Wahid Adekojo, FNSC, F9 She's also our branch patron. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. There are so many other people we are expecting, our students, that they are on their way coming. And as other important guests come, we'll keep recognizing them. So for those of you who have the event program, we are at the third program, which is National Anthem and Opening Prayer. Please, media. National prayer. Please. Creation. Grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Thank you very much. You can be seated. Before I call upon the chairman for our welcome address, I would also like to recognize all chairmen of different branches here present. We have the chairman. We have Engineer Ahmed ASY Kutugi, FNSC, the chairman of Abuja branch. Please, sir, you can come forward, please. Please, a hand of applause for him. So at this point, I would like to invite my great mentor, Engineer Fumbi Babatunde Alonge, MNSC, MNISCHE. Please welcome you, ma, for your welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Mesuya Rabiu, highly represented by my dad, my brother. I want to really appreciate you. He is the former chairman of Giri branch. So, and we have another dignitary here, Engineer, one of our past vice presidents, Engineer Emeka Eze. Am I right, sir? And Engineer Felix Wanko. Sorry, sir. So, they are my mentor, and I really want to appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. The President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Mesuya Rabiu, FNSC, FASE, Fellow Association of Engineers, MIFR, Fellows of the Society, guest speaker, keynote speaker, and distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and members of the press. Good morning. It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to this annual general meeting of Nigerian Society of Engineers, BWARI branch. Today we gathered not just as a professional born by an esteemed discipline, but as a steward to Nigeria's physical, economic, and social environmental future. Our choosing theme for this year gathered sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation, engineering solution for growth and climate change. It is neither a mere slogan nor an academic exercise. It is a timely call to all Nigerians and academics, while creating a sustainable pathway for Nigerian economic growth and development. The challenge before us today. Across Nigeria, the impact of climate change and infrastructure deficiency are no longer distant prediction. They are reality. We encounter every day. We see unpredictable flooding threatening our city, communities, roads, and agricultural heartland. We see erosion destroying valuable lands, home, and public infrastructure, particularly across our community. We see coastal degradation threatening communities and economic activities along our borders. We see powers and greed, vulnerability affecting businesses, industries, households, and our capacity for economic productivity. We see infrastructure deficits, limiting industrial growth, increasing the cost of doing business, and restricting the potential of our great people. We also see rapid growth, cities placing increasing pressure on transport, housing, water supply, drainage, waste management, and other essential infrastructure. These challenges are deeply connected to Nigeria development. As engineers, we look at these challenges, we do not see reasons for disappear. We see problems begging for structural, innovative, and enduring solution. Engineering for future growth and resilience. If Nigeria is to achieve sustainable economic growth, our approach to infrastructure must evolve. We can no longer avoid to build a yesterday needs on yesterday climate. Every road, bridge, dams, power plant, railway, water system, housing development, and public infrastructure designed today must be built with consideration for the reality of tomorrow. Our infrastructure must not only serve its immediate purpose, it must be resilient, adapt, avoidable, maintainable, and sustainable. To achieve this, our engineering community must focus on three vital pillars. Climate smart structure. We must incorporate climate risk assessment, resilient material, improved drainage system, sustainable construction practice, green building principle, and nature-based solution into mainstream and infrastructural planning and design. When we look at our estates these days in Nigeria, we see that the estate people are really introducing the terrace building, and we are not looking at the future of our nation there. So we need to look into it. The civil engineer should tell us what is going to be the future of the ground, because 4.4 meters, each individual terrace building their own, constructing their own boreholes, and constructing their own sockaway. What is the future of the estate? So we should look into that. Energy transmission and grid resilience. Nigerian economic transformation can be separated by the need for reliable and sustainable energy. We must leverage on renewable energy integration, smart grid technology, energy efficiency, and decentralized power solution to strengthen our energy structure and provide the dependable power required for industrialization and businesses and community. The third one is policy and local capacity. Sustainable infrastructure require more than technical solution. We must strengthen local engineering capacity, promoting research and innovation, enforcing engineering standards, and deepen collaboration between engineers, government, academicians, industrials, and other stakeholders. Local content must translate into genuine local capacity, transforming development, manufacturing, and innovations. Call for collaborations. This AGM provides a valuable platform for us across pollutant ideas, critique existing frameworks, and forge actionable pathway forward. One of the calls for this gathering, I urge every delegate to engage vigorously in challenging the conventional method, sharing practice experience, and advocating for Nigeria engineering talent and champion solution that responds to our unique national reality. This responsibility before us is significant. Nigeria required infrastructure that support economic productivities, protect communities, strengthen our cities, and create an environment which businesses and industry can strive. The nation before us look at the Nigerian Society of Engineers for guidance, innovation, professional leaders, and technical excellence. Let us demonstrate that the Nigerian engineers possess the expert vision, creativity, and patriotic resolve to develop solutions that are not technically sound, but sustainable and approachable to our nation context. Let us move from mere discussing our infrastructure challenges to Nigerian practical solutions that can implement, sustain, and measure. Closing remark. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to this annual AGM. May our deliberation be fruitful, our networking impact and ideas innovative, and our collective resolved strengthen as we work together as an engineer to sustain infrastructure and more resilient Nigeria. May this gathering produce ideas that will contribute meaningful to Nigerian economic growth, climate action, and sustainable development. Thank you all. God bless you, Nigerian Society of Engineers. God bless the Federation Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman, for that wonderful welcome address. As a matter of fact, I just realized I didn't introduce myself. I just started the program. My name is Engineer Sylvia Great Idakwo from COREN, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. I'm one of the pioneer members of engineers and examiners for the National Clean Certification Scheme, and I will be acting as the MC of this event. Joining me is my co-MC, Engineer Junaid Olatunji Victor, MNSE M. He will be joining me to co-host this event. Please clap for him. He's a very powerful man. Thank you. So I will leave the floor for him now to take over the next item.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, our leaders in the House. We sincerely appreciate everybody for making it time to be here with us today. Madam Chairman has spoken, and I believe from there she has already given us a background into the reason why we are here today. Before I will call on the chairman of the occasion, I sincerely want to just make little adjustments to the protocol already well established. We have the representative of the NSE president with us here, in person of Engineer Amit Olayinka Abdulakim, FNSE, as a past chairman of Giri branch, and at the same time, Director, Engineering and Technical Service, NIMET. Please, can you put your hands together for him? Thank you. We are glad to have you here, sir. If you look at our team today, like we gather here, not merely as a professional, but as a nation builder, committed to shaping a safer, stronger, more sustainable, and resilient Nigeria. Our team today, sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation, engineering solution for growth and climate action, speaks directly to the responsibility before the engineering profession at this critical time. We kindly request that all distinguished guests and participants take their seat properly as we prepare to commence this important gathering. I want to use this privilege to call on the chairman and the president NSE, Engineer Ali Mesuya Rabi, FNSE, who is ably represented by Engineer Amit Olayinka Abdulakim, Director, Engineering and Technical Service, NIMET, to kindly stand up to come and give us his opening remark. Please, let's put our hands together for him, please.
Quickly, I also want to further make amendments to his introduction. I'm Engineer Hamid Olayinka Abdul Karim, just for record purposes. Thank you. Just like he has said, I'm here to represent the President and Chairman in Council, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Alimasoya Rabiu, who is unavoidably not available because of the ongoing National ESCO meeting at Lafia. I have his address here, and I beg your pardon to read it. The chairman, Nigerian Society of Engineers, BWARI branch, Engineer Fumbi Babatunde, the keynote speaker, Engineer Akoni, and I wish to stand on the protocol as it has been established. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings and sincere best wishes on this occasion of the 2026 Engineering Conference, an annual general meeting of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, BWARI branch. This annual gathering remains one of the most important platforms for professional interaction, knowledge sharing, innovation, and strategic reflection on the role of engineering and national development. Commendation. I wish to commend the Executive Committee and members of the NSE, BWARI branch, for the dedication, foresight, and commitment to advancing the engineering profession. Over the years, the branch has continued to distinguish herself through impactful programs that promote professional excellence, capacity development, interprofessional collaboration, and sustainable economic growth. These efforts have not only strengthened the engineering community within the branch, but have also contributed significantly to development initiatives with the Federal Capital Territory and beyond. Significance of the conference. This year's conference presents a valuable opportunity for participants to exchange ideas, share experiences, explore emerging technologies, and develop innovative solutions to some of the pressing challenges facing our country by discussing the theme, which is sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation, engineering solutions for growth, and climate action. As engineers, we occupy a strategic position in the development process. Our expertise is indispensable in the planning, design, construction, operation, and maintenance of infrastructure that supports economic growth and improves the quality of lives of citizens. Through events such as this, we are better positioned to identify practical strategies for enhancing productivity, for promoting innovation, for optimizing resource utilization, and accelerating national development. I therefore wholeheartedly express my profound appreciation to our distinguished speakers for honoring our invitation despite their very demanding and fully committed schedules. Your presence here today is a testament to your dedication to knowledge sharing, to professional excellence, and the advancement of our collective aspirations. Invitation to the 2026 International Engineering Conference and Annual General Meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to utilize this opportunity to extend a warm invitation to every engineer, every stakeholder present here to participate in the 2026 International Engineering Conference and Annual General Meeting of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, scheduled to hold from Monday, November 30th to Friday, December the 4th, 2026 at the International Conference Center, Maiduguri, Borno State. The conference with the theme, Engineering Innovation for Enhanced Security and Sustainable National Development, will provide an unparalleled platform for engineers, policymakers, researchers, academics, development partners, industry leaders, and security experts to exchange in robust discussions on engineering-driven solutions to the Nigeria's contemporary challenges. I'm therefore delighted to inform you that our preparations continue to receive remarkable support at the very highest levels of government. Only the week before the last, the Honorable Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, graciously confirmed his attendance and acceptance to deliver the keynote address at the occasion. Similarly, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Olatunji Ridwan Disu, has accepted an invitation to serve as guest of honor, while the Director General of the Department of State Services, Mr. Oluwatosin Adeola Ajayi, had earlier confirmed his participation. I therefore look forward to receiving you all at Maiduguri. In conclusion, I wish you all a highly successful, intellectually enriching, and rewarding conference, and I pray for fruitful deliberation throughout this program. Thank you.
Is that all we can give to him? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We sincerely appreciate your opening remark. Distinguished guests, we now come to one of the major highlights of today's conference. Our team challenged us to rethink the way we design, construct, manage, and maintain infrastructure in an era of climate change, rapid urbanization, population growth, and increasing demand on our infrastructure system. To deliver a keynote on sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation, engineering solution for growth, and climate action, please join me in welcoming our first keynote speaker, Engineer Dr. Atinuke Wuraola Owolabi, Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Member, North Central Development Commission, Southwest Representative. You are kindly welcome, man. Please put your hands together for her.
Good afternoon to everyone here. The chairman of the occasion, the president of Nigeria Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Rabi, FNSC, ably represented by one of our headers. Thank you for the opening remarks, sir. The distinguished guest of honor, President, Council of the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Sadiq Subil. Thank you, sir, in absentia. Oh, Engineer Dipo, thank you very much, sir, for coming. The host of today's conference, Engineer Fumbi Babatunde Alonge, NSE, very soon FNSE before you leave. The guest speaker, my brother, my mentor, Engineer Bola Mudasiru, the Deputy National Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers. Thank you for coming. My co-keynote speaker, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Mechanical Engineering, University of Nigeria, Abuja, Engineer Dr. Adekunle Hakone Adeleke, PhD. Thank you very much for coming. To all our distinguished guests, distinguished engineers, fellows, colleagues, representative of government and industry, our policymakers, development partners, young engineers, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here today, and I'm very pleased to be one of the keynote speakers for the conference of Nigerian Society of Engineers BWARI branch. And the theme that we have chosen actually goes to the heart of Nigeria development challenge: sustainable infrastructure, resilience nation, engineering solutions for growth and climate change. This is very timely. Thank you once again for the privilege. And I will be speaking on this keynote, sustainable infrastructure development for national growth. As you all know, this is not simply a conference theme, it's a national imperative. When we talk about infrastructure, we are talking about the foundation upon which a nation builds its economy, its people, creates opportunity, and also secure its future. The foundation must be very strong, resilient, inclusive, environmentally responsible, and in all sustainable. When we talk about engineering infrastructure, it's not just about building. It's more than just that building. As engineers, we are trained to solve problems. We are trained to see problems and ask, what is causing this problem? How can it be fixed? How can we make solution better, safer, more efficient, and more affordable? But as you all know, Nigeria needs more than that. We need to also step further. We must not only ask, what can we build? It should be, what should we build? How should it be built? Who is going to serve? The people? How long is it going to last? And what impact is this infrastructure we are planning to build is going to last? So who are those people is going to impact? And this will really help the unborn generations as well. So when you want to consider infrastructure, you must not only think about you just want to build. It has to be, who is it serving? Is it serving the people? Is it serving this purpose? We also need to be intentional when it comes to building infrastructure. So as you all know, as engineers, we need to move from infrastructure deficit to infrastructural opportunities. Whenever we see challenges, we must turn it to opportunities. And that's why we have a lot of our engineers. We have different divisions, we have different chapters, we have different branches. So whenever we see any challenge, let us always embrace it that opportunities are coming for engineers. We must build differently. We cannot afford infrastructure constructed without adequate consideration for maintenance. This is very key. We build, but do we also consider the maintenance? And that's what, in Nigeria, in Africa, I wouldn't say we lack that, but we can improve on the maintenance culture here. Climate resilience, local capacity too is key. We cannot continue to treat infrastructure as isolated project. Infrastructure must be viewed as an interconnected national system. So we'll be going through some pillars of how we can actually have a sustainable infrastructure, and one of it is resilience. Whenever we are building, we must make sure that the infrastructure is resilient? Can it actually withstand weather condition? Can it withstand flooding? Now thank God we are in North Central, so BWARI branch is in North Central. When you look at Kogi State now, you could discover that they are prone to this flooding. How are we actually addressing their challenges? The way we are going to design infrastructure over there for road is quite different from the way we are going to design it for Abuja here. So these are things we need to know, that can it actually withstand all these tests? Even the weather as well, the power disruption, population growth. The population is increasing every day. Are we also putting that into consideration when we're doing our own design? That will this serve unborn children? What about those that are here? I know a lot of people will ask me that, why we also have living, we also have deaths. But I want to let you know that we have more living than death. Today, the population of Nigeria is over 200 million. And if you look at the design we have today, can it actually withstand this long? We have a lot of trucks now that always ply our roads. Is that road built for those heavy trucks? As engineers, these are the things that we also need to consider. What are the kind of engineering solutions we need to deploy? So we shouldn't just think about getting one design from a place and drop it. We have to be intentional. We have to be purposeful that we are building this infrastructure that will last for even unborn generation. I want to sincerely appreciate federal government for what they are doing on the road. And I'm pleased that since we will have our deputy chairman here, national chairman, he can speak more to that. They are no more doing asphalt, they are doing more on concrete pavement so that it could last for many years. Also, green energy is no longer optional. Whenever we are talking about green energy, it's no more an environmental conversation. This is part of us now. The green energy sustainable is no longer merely an environmental conversation. It's an economic, development, engineering, and survival conversation. Nigeria has enormous potential in renewable energy, especially even in North Central here. Solar energy, for example, can address our energy challenges while supporting economic activities in underserved communities. But sustainable energy requires more than just having panels on the roof. It has to go deeper. Our engineers must be skilled. Our engineers must learn how to design properly, smart grids, mini grids. This is what is called sustainable energy, and not just having panels and batteries. It goes beyond that. We need to understand everybody's needs, every community needs. How do we address all these challenges when it comes to power energy? And also the maintenance of it as well. We also need standards. This is another area that is key in sustainable infrastructure. Do we really have standards in Nigeria here? What standard are we using in making sure that our power energy design could last for longer time? Quality assurance, who is monitoring this? Local manufacturing. North Central is so blessed with mineral resources. As engineers here, I know Engineer Dipo is into maybe kind of metallurgical engineering. Are we tapping into the raw materials that we have in North Central? We have some strategic materials. We have lithium here. We have things that we can use for solar panels. As engineers, we need to leave our professional environment. We need to meet with these miners. There are a lot of artisanal miners because they are the ones doing a lot on this. Have we actually sat close to them to know the technology they are using so that we could help them produce some locally? Sometimes when we travel to Lafia, when we go to Benue, we still see some. They will be blasting using their hands. And we have thousands of engineers. What are we doing? Let's tap into these opportunities. Do you know that we have a lot of Chinese people here now that mining our mineral resources? They are not better than us. All what we need is our commitment, is our dedication, is that can-do spirit. If all engineers could have that can-do spirit, that this is this can be done. I want to assure you that Nigerian engineers will be well reckoned with in this country. My experience in engineering and renewable energy initiative has reinforced one important lesson, that technology alone does not solve problems. We need that ecosystem. And what's that ecosystem? We need people, we need policy, right policy, we need financing, we need standards, skills, and technology must work together. That's the ecosystem that we need to build if we are talking about sustainable infrastructure. Another area is innovation. Our president mentioned that, and I'm still going to reiterate that innovation must become part of our engineering culture. Artificial intelligence, intelligence of things, smart grids, automation, robotics, data analytics, digital construction are changing how infrastructure is designed, built, monitored, and maintained. Our engineers must not be left behind. How many of us are skilled in AI? It's not just to go to ChatGPT. It goes beyond that. And that's where I would like to charge BWARI branch. I know you are doing a lot more. We need to equip our younger ones. I was expecting to see them here, the young engineers. Are we building them? The students, I was expecting, I know you look at it that you don't have institutions in BWARI, but it doesn't matter. If you are committed, if you are so passionate about this, please build our younger ones. So when you talk about innovation, Nigerian engineers cannot afford to be left behind, but we must not only consume technology, we must also create our own solutions. If I'm to ask in this house, and all the divisions, the branches we have, is there any of our solution that Nigeria is using? My chairman, ma'am, is there any of our solution? We have so many branches, BWARI branch, Abuja branch, this branch. Is Nigeria making use of any of our solutions? We need to work with industries. We cannot just be coming here every time, organizing conference, and at the end of the day, we go back. What have we learned? That thing that we have learned, we need to turn into practical solutions. Please, I want to implore us, we can't get it right. Reverse engineering is also key. If you don't understand the technology, you can buy one, study it, dismantle it. Let's look at it. And that's why we need to really work with young engineers and engineering students. Innovation is key. We need to move from just having research and publication. We need to move to research, innovation, prototype. You have to prototype it. You have to commercialize. And you have to see that, okay, it will serve its purpose. It has a great impact. Academia that are here, I'm so happy that the keynote speaker, my keynote co-one is from the university. Please, sir, I want to implore you, sir, let's just move from having a research and publication. Now, Nigeria needs more than that. I read it some time ago that China now, they've stopped some courses in the universities, even in secondary school, courses that are not really skilled. Why should we go into that? Now, to the glory of God, I'm part of the government now. I've seen that there's this huge gap. They are not feeling the presence of our engineers. I'm a member of North Central Development Commission, and as I speak, we have no single engineer except her as a board member. And I've been telling them, even from our own commission to that, they must create engineering directorate because every commission is development focused. When we're talking about development, where are engineers? It's because we need to be more visible. What are the things that we are putting out, that we are deploying, that people can see and be able to appreciate what we do? Please, our engineers, let's move from research and publication to innovation, to prototype. Even BWARI branch, you can set up a small resource center. You don't need to have a bigger place. What would you need? 3D printing. By the time you reach out to one or two people, they are going to supply CNC machine, filaments. These are the things that we need. When people come to your small place, it's just to have that prototype out. You don't need to have a bigger place. I want to believe, ma'am, that before you leave, you tell me that you're going to have a small resource center. Ejadipo, sir? Yes. Can we say yes to that? Yes. Thank you very much. Another area is infrastructure must be people-centered. How are we building our people? A road is successful when it improves mobility, reduces travel time, and supports economic activity. A power project is successful when homes, businesses, schools, industries receive reliable electricity. A water project is successful when people have sustainable access to safe water. And that's why I strongly believe that development must be measured by impact, not merely by project completed. Can those projects serve people? There are so many abandoned projects now, abandoned road, because it's not serving its purpose. As engineers, what are we doing? We need to reach out to some of these ministries. We cannot just continue to sit at our professional environment and be expecting a change in a country that has over 200 million. We have Federal Ministry of Works, we have FCT. Don't look at it that you are in BWARI branch that you don't have complaints. You can reach out. This is FCT and it's quite different. And another thing you could do is to collaborate with another branch here that you like to meet with the engineers at FCT. Okay, the branch there, you can go together. Let us be visible. Let us contribute. Let them see us, that we are ready to support government, to support institutions. Also, engineering must reach the grassroots. I love what Nigeria Society of Engineers is doing, especially for the growth dynamics, making sure that you also reach your grassroots. How many lives have you actually touched? I want to really appreciate the chairman of BWARI because she reached out to me about a school that is rehabilitated that we need to reconstruct. And I asked her to write a letter. She did that. And North Central Development Commission has assured her that they are going to rehabilitate that school. That is what we need. We need to get down to grassroots. By the time we finish now, NSE BWARI branch will be well reckoned with in that community. And because of that, there are a lot of younger ones too that would like to study engineering. Please, let's make sure that our impact is also felt at the grassroots level. We must build the next generation of engineers. These are our future. I was expecting, just like what I said before, to see this place filled up with younger engineers, maybe because I love them, because I believe with them, the future of NSE is bright. Please, whatever you are doing, make sure you carry them along. Even when you are planning, make sure they get involved. Even the engineering students too, get them involved, give them a committee to handle. This is how to build them. Women must be part of the infrastructure future. We mustn't neglect the talent pool. And women are very key. This is the second time we'll be having second woman as the chairman of the branch, and she has done excellently well. A round of applause for her. I want to really appeal to all our engineers that are working in various institutions that the space for women is key. This is not just for inclusion. And when you talk about inclusion, it's not just for fairness, it's for that capacity. You should know what women can bring to the table. And that's why whatever you are doing, the design you are doing, the deliberation you are having, make sure that women are always there. Engineers must have a stronger voice in policy. I'm so impressed when I saw the flyer that we have one of the senators there. It shows we are moving to them. We want to collaborate with them. You don't have to be in politics before you have a voice. You don't have to be in politics before you be part of those that will formulate policies. They can be your friends. Have you reached out to them? There will be at times that you want to organize programs. There will be some topics that it has to be on for the National Assembly. Everything shouldn't just be engineering, and that's why they're not taking us seriously. We need to have some conferences solely for the policymakers. Through that, you are embracing them, you are telling them that you are part of them. Whenever they need anything, they call you. Whenever they want to deliberate, whenever they need solutions, engineering solutions, they will also refer back, they'll come back to Nigeria Society of Engineers. Please, I want us to reach out to our policymakers. Fine, we have some of them that are engineers. It depends on the topic you want. You can even write to the president, National Assembly, the Senate president. This topic, it is you that we want you to speak to it. It will come. By the time you start penetrating them, you are becoming part of them. So you don't have to be in politics before you formulate policies. So, therefore, engineers must participate in this conversation from the beginning. And when we talk about formulating policies, when talk about infrastructure, when talk about projects, it's not just that engineering drawing. We must be part of the procurement process. This is where the sustainable infrastructure starts from. The budget, the finance, the procurement. You must also make sure that you are part of it, and not just the technical aspects. And that's why I want to really employ high engineers. Let's take some management courses. And that's why you see that some of our engineers, they hardly get to that position of CEOs because they believe that they can't manage people, they can't manage resources. The only thing they can manage is just that technical side. We need to move from that if we're talking about sustainable future. Thank you very much. Maintenance must become a national culture. We are very quick to construct. We are very quick to commission. We are very quick to run to that project and cut that ribbon. Do we really have that life cycle management? That should be part of what we need to do. And a lot of people will look at it that, oh, I'm not part of them. But that is where collaboration comes in. We have the professional institutions, we have industries, we have academic universities too, we have private sectors, we have government. You need to reach out to them. You as engineers, you have that technical expertise. And when you're able to build this ecosystem, it really helps the sustainable infrastructure. It makes Nigeria to be resilient. So, who maintains the infrastructure? Where's the maintenance budget? Do we have that budget for it? Are spare parts available? Are local technicians trained? Is there a monitoring system? Is there a life cycle management plan? Engineers must insist on whole life infrastructure planning. The cost of infrastructure should include design, construction, operation, maintenance, upgrade, end-of-life management. That is the true sustainability that we are talking about. Now, what are the roles of Nigerian sector of engineers? As you all know, you have an important role to play in this transformation. Our professional institutions must increasingly become platforms for policy engagement, technical standards, professional development, innovation, mentorship. We need to even move from mentorship to sponsorship. The person you are mentoring, can you open doors for the person? We talk more about mentorship, let's focus on sponsorship. How many doors have you been able to open up for your colleagues? I just want to use myself as an example. When I meet you today, when I meet Dr. Yetunde, Professor Yetunde today, I will look for what I can get for my people. That's just me. And that's why when I was the chairman of APOIN Lagos, I made sure that we penetrated Dangote. Today, we have over 100 young engineers that are part of their workforce. Thank you very much, sir. I will not come to you and be asking for my selfish gains. What are the things that my people can benefit from? When we went to Niger 2 weeks ago to see the governor, the board, I also saw the video of the school that he sent to me. Instantly, I showed it to our MD. Sir, look at this school in a BWARI branch. It needs to be renovated. One of the board members said, Engineer Tinuke, that's why we like you, because you are always after people. You are always looking for a way to open doors. As engineers, please, it shouldn't be just for me. It is when you open doors that you too can even pass through the path. Do we have a senator here today? What can we get from him? It shouldn't just be exchanging cards. Oh, come and give. What are the things we can give to our younger ones? I want to tell you that if we continue to do this, not opening doors for our young engineers, they're not going to continue to study engineering. And even if they study engineering, they're not going to practice. So we must make sure that we have some companies that we can fix them for internship, for NYC. I remember when I was also, when we were in Lagos as the chairman too, I went to NYC camp, and I told them that they shouldn't post any of our girls to secondary school or to any school. And they told me to get companies. We started reaching out to companies, Momas, Dangote, Covenant Plus, Green Peg. Please, can you take our girls, even if it's just one? And they agreed, and we submitted the list to them. None of our girls, they didn't post them to schools throughout our tenure. And today, to the glory of God, some of them, they got retained. Because not just for you to sell, but how can you retain it? Because we don't want our younger ones to just be wearing slippers and be moving around. We want them to be well equipped. And it starts from you, the branches. Equip them. Show them love. We are mothers. We are fathers. The way we can treat our children, let's also treat those younger ones, and they will never forget the profession. Research and development, industry collaboration. There are so many industries in North Central. I don't want you to just limit yourself to BWARI, ma'am. Reach out. North Central is so blessed. We have so many industries there, especially for this mining. You can go to Lafayette. I'm not sure if you have NSE Lafayette, even if you have there, but because of what you want, you can collaborate with that branch there. I really want to reach out to this company. These are the solutions I want to deploy. Please, don't just limit yourself to that BWARI. Reach out, step out. There are a lot of companies that we need to collaborate with. They need our technical expertise. We need to deploy this. Entrepreneurship, let's build our people. Sustainability, public enlightenment. We need to organize different public engagement, community engagement. Are you known in your community there? The BWARI branch, are you known? Meet with the buyers. Where are the engineers here? How buyer, what are your needs? If you can't solve it, get it. There are a lot of people out there that will help you. What they need from you is reach out, know their plight. How can we solve it? How can it get implemented? These are the things that we need from our engineers, especially our BWARI branch. We must strengthen the connection between professional bodies, governments, academia, and industry. Government has the policy mandates, industry has resources, implementation capacity, academia has knowledge and research. Professional bodies have technical expertise. Engineers have the responsibility to connect this ecosystem. Please and please, I'll continue to appeal. Nigeria needs us. The country needs us. Let us be felt. Let our impact be felt. Back to North Central Development Commission. I just told you that I've insisted that we must create engineering directorate because every development commission is development focused. I've also told them that they need to reach out to ACEN, consulting engineers. But I can't be the only one doing this. You have to reach out, you have to send letters. We have about 5 development commissions. We have North Central, we have Southwest, we have Southeast, we have Northwest, we have NCDC. Have we reached out to these people, telling them what you can, the solutions you can deploy? They are doing a lot of development infrastructure. Have they called you to ask you for any technical advice? Please, if you continue to sit in our professional environment, our impact will not be felt out there. Reach out to these companies, collaborate. Let's introduce local capacity, local content. A call to action for NSE BWARI branch, distinguished engineers, the future of Nigeria will be shaped by the decision we make today. And engineers must be at the center of those decisions. We have the knowledge, skills, creativity, professional institutions, young people, and natural resources. What we need is greater collaboration, stronger institutions, better implementation, and a deeper commitment to sustainability. As we leave this conference, I would like us to embrace 5 commitments. Let us design for resilience. Let us engineer green. Let us innovate. Let us develop people. Let us measure impact. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with this one thought. Every bridge we design connects more than 2 locations. It connects people to opportunity. Every road we build can connect farmers to markets. Every power system we develop can connect businesses to productivity. Every digital infrastructure we deploy can connect young people to knowledge and global opportunities. Every water system we provide can connect communities to better health, and every engineer we mentor can become the person who solves a problem we have not yet encountered. That's why our work matters. Engineering is not simply about structure. It's about possibility. It's about transforming ideas into solutions, turning challenges into opportunities, and ultimately building a better society. So let us build infrastructure that will not only serve us today, but remain valuable to our children and grandchildren. Let us build infrastructure that is resilient, inclusive, intelligent, environmentally responsible, and economically productive. Let us build with purpose. Let us innovate with courage. Let us continue to collaborate with humility, and let us lead with integrity. Because the Nigeria we desire will not build itself, we must engineer it. And as engineers, we have both the responsibility and the opportunity to do so. Let us therefore rise to occasion and engineer a sustainable future for Nigeria. Together, let us build Nigeria where infrastructure does not merely exist, but works, lasts, and transforms lives. Once again, I want to sincerely thank you all for giving me the privilege to deliver this keynote speech. Long live Nigeria Society of Engineers. Long live the engineering profession, and may God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, another round of applause for this wonderful keynote address. That was a thought-provoking presentation and a timely contribution to our conversation on sustainable infrastructure and national resilience. Though her talk was very impactful, I was able to pick a few of it that really resonate with me. She stated that as engineers, we are trained to solve problems. Please, as engineers, we should take note of that. We are trained to solve problems. She said we need to move from just mentoring people to sponsoring people. Just like my mentor, Engineer Fumbi, is not just mentoring me, she's sponsoring me. Thank you very much, ma, for that wonderful keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had one important perspective, and now we are privileged to hear another. Engineering solutions are rarely produced from one discipline. They require innovation, research, technology, collaboration, and practical implementation. Our next keynote speaker is an academic and engineering professional whose perspective will further enrich today's discussion. Please join me in welcoming Engineer Dr. Adekunle Akanmi, FIPMD, GYA, Associate Professor and Head of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Nile University. Sir, you are most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. My name is Alkoni. I know that she's trying to get it. Good afternoon, everybody. Please, okay, thank you. You have my PowerPoints already. I'm an academic, so I may not be able to read. It's not in our practice to read. Engineer Ali Rabiu, the president of NSE, in absentia, ably represented by Engineer Abdulhamid Olayinka. Nice meeting you, sir. And let me say that I want to stand on all the other protocols so that I won't take your time. Our fathers and elders are here, and so we're glad to have you around. So I'll quickly build on what she has been talking about, or we've started discussing. Sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation. Permit me to also welcome my HOD. I am no longer the HOD. I handed over last week, the last 2 weeks. Engineer Professor Ogidengbe Temitayo. You know is it irony that you call it? Last year, he was here as the keynote speaker while I was sitting as the head of department of mechanical engineering. And now he's sitting as the head of department, scoring me whether my presentation will be fine. And I'm here presenting. All right. Engineer Professor Akim, thank you. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, and all the departments of mechanical engineering and the faculty of engineering from Nile University. Thank you for coming. This is me a little, so let me not stay there. I'll just build on one of the things she has been talking about, the problems, Nigerian infrastructure cost, climate threats, and redefining infrastructure, the engineering response, what the world is learning, and the new role of engineer. And I also propose a national roadmap, of course, which we have, which we just need to act on, the pathway to resilience infrastructure and call to action. So when we talk about sustainable infrastructure, the chairman, BWARI branch, started with a very wonderful welcome address, and as those here summarized everything I wanted to say, and then she picked up, she added to it, so, but I will still add a little perspective, all right? We're talking about rules that withstand our climate, building that are energy efficient, transport system that reduce pressure on our city, and of course, industry that turn waste into resources, energy system that can reliably power economic growth. So a resilient nation is not built only when disaster happen. Resilience is designed before crisis. So we must begin to ask, not only can we build it, and I think the two speakers has said that earlier, but can it last? I was just plying a road that was recently constructed not more than 6 months along a path, let me not mention the area, in Abuja here. And we have a big pothole there. And so somebody's asking what happened just in 6 months. It was because initially there was no consideration from the engineering perspective. The engineering decision was wrong. And nobody really considered whether it's going to last long or it's going to be there for 20 years. And so we need maintenance immediately. And then, you know, our maintenance culture is poor. So the pothole is becoming bigger on a daily basis. And you will say, this is a 6-month road. So can it last? Can we maintain it? There are some things we're building now that maintenance will become difficult very soon. Can future generation also afford it? Can they afford it? And can it withstand the challenges of tomorrow? Climate change is now, of course, predictable with the knowledge of artificial intelligence, but it's also not predictable. We could give machine learning data and say, this is what we have, give us this. It's just a prediction. We don't know what will really happen tomorrow. So, but can we build in such a way that tomorrow challenges can be withstand with our infrastructure? A question that should disturb every engineer that is sitting here, whether you're a chemical, mechanical, civil, or whatsoever arm of the engineering. You see Lagos traffic congestion. Of course, it's not only Lagos again. It has come to Abuja because urbanization is increasing. People are moving from villages to the center. Everybody wants a better life, isn't it? And you ask yourself, so how do we cope this? This is our own reality in Nigeria. Flood. Recently, we had one in Abuja here. It's just recent, maybe Sunday or Friday, where cars were submerged in so a lot of money are lost there. You see power outage. We have had a lot of gridlock done recently. Bad roads. And this is our own reality in Nigeria. But elsewhere, what they are thinking about is a clean skyline, smart resilient highways, high-speed rails. In another country, where some of us have traveled to, you will see that's the question engineers are asking there is no longer the kind of question we're asking here. And so we ask ourselves, what is really going on with us as a nation, as engineers? What is going on? Because we're in the same century, but different engineering choices, different engineering decisions. And that's why we have a wide gap between us. So why are nations blessed with enormous natural resources and they are still poor? Nigeria. She was mentioning, was mentioning that Nigeria is blessed with a lot of resources, especially in the north central. And that's the reality. I'm a material person, though mechanical harm. So, and I've been working around material. So I can tell you that we have a lot of deposits of mineral resources that are just carried out of our country without local value additional change. And so you ask yourself, what is going on? So when this thing goes there, it comes back to us at a high cost. Don't we have engineers that can actually do something about it? Are there no solutions with us that we can push and then it become acceptable? We are so rich with mineral resources. We are so blessed. I've traveled to some countries and I will look at their environment. I say, okay, these people are not 1/10 as blessed as our country in terms of mineral resources. But the little they have, they make wise engineering decisions, technological decisions, that is placing them at the forefront of the world. Why do countries spend billions on infrastructure yet remain underdeveloped? That's ourselves. Am I lying? Are you with me? How much was budgeted for a lot of things? Maybe last year, last 2 years. What are we seeing? What is the result? What does it look like? So I just said a road that was constructed 6 months ago, it has become another budget for reconstruction. So we are wasting billions and billions. And so there is no development as per se, even though we are increasing infrastructure. Why do some countries build less infrastructure but achieve greater prosperity? We could cite UAE, we could cite Dubai, which some of us go to do holiday. Those guys are not as rich and abundant in natural resources as us. Am I lying? Please talk to me. If I'm lying, just say I should get out of this place. Say, oh God, you are deceiving us. The reality, but they are making engineering decisions and they are investing heavily in infrastructure that are sustainable, that even in 30, 40 years is still standing. Okay. The great engineering misconception. Sometimes and you know this is very common, and it's a false equation. We say more road is equal to more development. But I just cited an example that you could build road, and it becomes a portal of where you'll be losing your money in the next few years as a nation, or losing the life of people. If you apply our Kogi Abuja road, some of us who travels there, you will nearly cry. Why? Some of these roads have been given to people to do it, and you have this recurrence. So more road does not mean more development. Infrastructure does not create prosperity. That's what I'm saying. Engineering decisions do. And that's why I love what Doctor said, that we should get involved in policy making, we should get involved in governance. We should get involved in being at the forefront of decision making, procurement. We should get involved where things really matter. When somebody says we can buy this for 1 billion, and you say, sorry, 1 billion will not be enough if we want something substantial. Let's increase it for a reason. You say, no, we don't need it. We will not even use that 1 billion. We'll use just 400 million out of it. The remaining one will be shared so that we can do holiday in Dubai and all of those stuff. Engineering decision, because we're not thinking about tomorrow, and it's going to come to our children. Permit me to stand like this, and if it seems like I'm preaching, take it like that. Because our condition has become so serious that we really need an emergency on our infrastructure. Infrastructure will become a development if it's a quality infrastructure, sustainable infrastructure. If there is industrial productivity through it, if you have innovation, investments, prosperity of a nation coming from it. I was in a village to pick a wife for one of my boys recently, very far village in Kefi. It was so far inside. I said, boy, this is where you brought me to. There was no electricity, the road was bad, nothing was there. There was nothing that connected them. When I got there, they were big farmers. Big crops were coming from that place. There was nothing called electricity, no infrastructural development for them. Then I saw a massive gigantic building by one politician who is from that village inside the place. So I now ask, what's the usefulness of this building? What is it contributing to the community? We could sell this building and we'll get a road that will connect these farmers to town easily, so that the price of watermelon can come down and a normal citizen will be able to afford it. The price of maize can come down. They will be happy because their transportation is easy. I was even saying, if they get sick in that village, to get hospital, they will have to go to a very far distance. So infrastructure, more road does not mean that you have prosperity. It's intentional engineering decision that means it. So understanding infrastructure is more than road. I've talked about it. I was speaking with Professor Hakim this morning in my office, and I said that we look at infrastructure as when we build houses and all of those things and we are connecting that. That's not. We have transport system. Can we have intelligent transport system? Can we have a transport system that there are countries that are bigger than us that train works to in every corner of the country? Am I lying? Wait, since everybody is serious, am I eating something? Permit me, I'm a teacher, so, and I may be in the classroom mood. But I'm saying that if you have rail, which somebody was sharing recently that the president has given out probably contracts on some of the rail things for the country. If you have a rail system that connects, we will not need to be going with our vehicle when we are traveling. Some of us will not need flight again. If you have a road system that connects correctly, I'm from Ilan-Ogun. I can travel to Ilan-Ogun easily to see my parents and come back over the weekend because the road is easy. But now I cannot travel. I'm considering a lot of things. I know what you are thinking, but you may not be thinking what I'm thinking. But I'm saying a lot of things I'm considering. But if the road network is fine, if the train is fine, if we have flights, local flights in strategic position, our movement become easy. We can send away some truck from the road. If you want to carry heavy cargo, go and use train. Life, the killing and death we have through accidents will reduce. We'll travel to a place and all we want to do is to do car driving as fun. We will put your vehicle in cruise. And it will be cruising. All of us will be gisting. The car is cruising. Can you do cruise in Nigeria? HOD, sir. Can you cruise your vehicle from night to this place? But I'm saying that these are things that are possible, and it's our engineering decision that will affect it. Energy system. We talk about power, renewable energy source, geothermal energy sources. We can invest heavily in this infrastructure. These are infrastructure that will speak to the future generation. And we build it with intentionality. Water system. You know, that's another thing. Some of our villages do not have access to water system. Whereas people are turning their waste to water and they are drinking it successfully without sickness. Because there is a design that is sustainable. Then digital infrastructure. So I'm even asking myself, if we have not moved from the gray era, when are we going to enter into that? Of course, we are moving, we are growing. I'm not saying we are not doing anything, but I want us to know that whatever decision we make as engineer, as part of the people who are part of the policy makers, it will not stop at us. It will affect a generation to come. Industrial growth, and then human infrastructure. She talked about it a lot. I am so glad, Corinne, thank you so much. Even though it's every burden on us, Nile University is one of the pilots platform for outcome-based education, where we are now operating on Washington Accord kind of curriculum. So our curriculum is being overhauled. And that's why when I read an article recently, thank you for clapping, sir. It's only you that understand. You're supposed to clap. So that we will not be producing the YDS alone again. We will be producing engineers who are valuable and can immediately contribute to the society. And that's why OBE has come. And so when I saw NUC and current BWARI recently, I was like, we need to come to an understanding to know that current needs to actually stabilize the education system in terms of engineering graduates. So we are trying to overhaul our curriculum, where practicals are now becoming important, such that engineering in Nigeria is equivalent to engineering in US. That's where we are now. And it's tedious on us as academics, but we are overhauling. So if you are just hearing it for the first time, that's the growth that has happened. And thanks to Corinne. Please, let's clap for Corinne. They are doing heavy work on that. So we need human capital development. Now I talked about hospitals, university, research laboratories. They are also infrastructures, and which must be developed with intentionality. Now, I want us to see infrastructure as a national capital rather than expenditure. You know, most of what we see is that we have spent billion, that's all. But the billion we are spending has capacity to bring back billions in multiple folds if we have spent it with engineering decisions that are wise. It will not bring anything back if what you have done is the crook way that we used to follow. If the path that we are following is with intentionality, I can tell you, some of the places we go to spend our dollars and relax, when they were building it, they were investing heavily. Am I lying? These people are not ready to talk to me again. HOD, when you see that I'm talking too much, just wave to me and say, off the mic. I am saying that some of the hotel we lodge, some of the sightseeing we are going to, you even get to an airport, it will look like a beautiful local government. Do you know that it costs them billions of dollars? But you know that it's bringing back the money now. Because they have seen it as a national, what? Capital. So infrastructure is a national capital because it represents the long-term physical and productive asset through which a nation creates economic value, connects its people, supports business, and improves the quality of life. So every kilometer of road you construct, it is with intentionality that is going to generate more economic value. Mr. President recently was yabbing the governors in a joke anyway, whether it's also serious. Because I was telling HOD, I said that statement that Mr. President made is a philosophy. It's supposed to be a thesis for a civil engineer to study. You know what President said? He said, stop building flyovers in your state. Did you hear that? How many of us heard that news? He said, stop building flyover because there is no economic value that is adding. Flyover will become necessary in a place where there is a massive congestion. Where there is a massive congestion, we could even plug in our artificial intelligence to procure a solution that might not require flyover because the money we use to construct it can construct multiple roads that are durable. So when he says stop building flyover, he knows what he's saying. Can we go to local governments and connect local government road to federal roads? Can we go to villages and connect those villages to federal road such that mobility of our agricultural produce can come easily rather than just having a fine city that is not bringing anything? So every governor wants to have a flyover in his state, so it's okay. But Oga said, let's stop it. Let's stop it and build something important. So I'm saying that flyovers are not bad in itself. Abi? Are they bad? It beautifies the city. But it's necessary when there are congestions. HOD, like I said, if you see I'm speaking too much, say, calm down. This is infrastructure as a national capital. If you invest in future productivity capacity, Okay, investing in future today builds the productive capacity tomorrow. And that's the reality. Good infrastructure drives economic and social well-being. When you have good infrastructure, multiplying the value of other national assets. Let's speak road, for example. My HOD was here to speak on steel production last year. I was here. And his speech is still echoing in my head. Because one of the challenges we have with Ajaokuta, the road network and the connectors, where we will be getting resources to actually make the furnace work, they are bad. So if we have road network, it's become easy for us to improve the value chains of our raw materials. That's what we are saying. So if you have good infrastructure, it actually multiplies other national resources. All right? Nigeria potential require reliable infrastructure. We are blessed as a nation. I am telling you, we are blessed. Some of the research we have done on the kind of minerals we have that some of us do not even know of, it shows we are really blessed. But the road that connects the mining to where it's going to go to, it is the people that will take it away from the country that will find a way to quickly manipulate it. It's not us. Do you think it's impossible to connect every road in Nigeria and they are working well? And FEMA will have job to do to just do maintenance. You even see road safety now. They will stay where the road is bad. So they so they can catch you. And their roads, they are supposed to be. It's okay. It's okay. As you calm down, okay, cut it. Infrastructure deficit. We have power issue. That's not a new one. Road issue. Rail. And I told Professor Hakim, I said, can we have a government? I know our president is trying and his cabinet, they are trying their best. Can we have a government that will have a roadmap of infrastructural development and not just jumping from project to project? It is easy to build a house here, build another road there, and then we'll be commissioning it around, but there is no connection. So we're talking about connectivity. If we say, okay, we are picking rail, and we are going to take 2 years to connect all the rails in Nigeria, nation, do we agree? Can we sponsor this? And there is going to be a massive economic power that will go into that sector because we have made the decisions as a nation to do that thing. If we connect the rail, we come alive. And then we say the road is the next. And so the road we are building from here to Lokoja to Ekiti is a continuum, such that at the end of the day, we see a massive road network that works. Ports, that's another thing. Water, broadband, housing. So each sector shows a measurable gap against a peer economy, from generation capacity to paved road density to port turnaround time and to broadband penetration. The hidden cost of poor infrastructure, poor road, high transportation costs, food inflation, manufacturing costs will go up. People will complain because the road is not good. To get this thing to you is really not there. So we'll factor the transport into whatsoever we are producing, and it will go higher. Poverty at the end of the day. So we have high cost of production, poverty. And so poverty is increasing because our infrastructures are not sustainable and they are not interconnected. Wasted time, few jobs, youth unemployment. If we have infrastructure that works, employment will become easy because industry will come around because there is power. They won't shut down and go to another country. High cost plus uncertainty in capital flights, it goes up, and of course, loss of competitiveness. Poor infrastructure is not free. When infrastructure fails, someone pays. The farmer pays. The manufacturer pays. The transporter pays. And that's why it's not easy to maintain your car on Nigeria road, especially if you're a transporter. Am I lying? You will see pothole that they will enter, you will not see the car again. It has entered the pothole. So when it comes out, you will see it is well with us. And it is because, I am saying this because we're not intentional. the investor, the consumer, and ultimately the nation. And there is another dimension about infrastructure we can no longer ignore. That is the climate. Climate change has changed everything. That's another perspective. It has changed everything. Climate change has changed everything in the fact that you have extreme rainfall and flooding, coastal and urban flooding because there is rapid urbanization, bridge and road deterioration, desertification and heat. So yesterday, infrastructure was not engineered for tomorrow's climates. And so when we are designing now as engineers that are in the house, whether civil, mechanical, whatsoever area of infrastructure you are building, have it at the back of your mind to consider climatic action. Are we with me? Are we with me? The challenge before us is no longer simply to build more infrastructure. We must build infrastructure that anticipates climate risk, withstand extreme events, recover quickly from disruption, and continue to serve the society throughout its life design. So, from gray infrastructure to green infrastructure, the traditional one we do is concrete dominant design, high carbon material, limited climate resilience, reactive maintenance. Whereas we can move to nature-based solution, circular economy principle, these are green, renewable energy integration, low carbon material. So it's not about building more now, it's about building better. We must move from infrastructure that consume resources and react to failure towards infrastructure that works with nature, minimize carbon, recovers resources, integrates clean energy, and anticipates climate risk. A professor who happens to be my friend gave his inaugural recently, and he was talking about sensing the unsensible. I should be running off. Yes, you know, I told you I can talk for the next. I'm a teacher, so. And he said that we should move from reactive maintenance to proactive maintenance, where we will predict it before it even happens. It saves cost, it saves life. All right? So if we move from gray to green, that's conventional infrastructure that consumes more resources and harms nature, to green. Reactive to predictive. We should move from linear, take the material, make it, waste it, the resources are finite. And then you have a growing waste. We now go to circular economy, where we are having the sign of waste, and that's where I specialize waste towards. High carbon material to low carbon, and climate vulnerable to climate resilience. Let me wrong. So sustainability is no longer an optional. It's supposed to be dealing with 3 P's. And if there is anything you will remember in this place, remember these 3 P's. Number 1 is people. Does this infrastructure improve people's life, quality of life, safety, health, accessibility, inclusion, and human well-being? If you are designing, does it do that? Planets, does it reduce carbon emission, pollution, resource depletion, and ecosystem damage? And number 3, prosperity. Now, does this infrastructure create lasting economic value, productivity, employment, investment, innovations, competitiveness? So an engineering must not satisfy one. You must satisfy the 3 at the same time. What are the P's that I mentioned now? People, planet, prosperity. Very important. The circular infrastructure, let me not talk, I've talked so much about this. In a circular economy, waste is not the end of the process. It begins another value chain. And that's why we do not, in material now, we do not have anything called waste. We recycle it back to life. Majority of the research work that my students are working on are waste recycling into valuable products. I know, I should round up. 3 minutes, thank you. Let me rush. Engineering innovation as, policy. So I think we have learned about Singapore, Japan, South Korea, China, how these people transform themselves. It was not a day job. It was the decade of engineering and industrial policies that favors the nation. And that's where they are today. When they started with their phone, some of us who hear the sound of China phone, it will do boo, 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 boo. Abi? How many of us know the era of China phone that used to make noise? And your heart to be like, what's going on? But now they have moved to Hawaii. They have moved to Oppo. Some of their phones are the best phones now because they started something. Reverse engineering. And these are decisions we should begin to make as engineers. All right? So if we look at this country, they have a common denominator. Deliberate engineering and industrial transformation. It was deliberate. All right? I've talked about it so that I won't waste your time. Engineer now, our role, we must not just be a designer, we must be innovators. And I think Dr. Mrs. talked about that. We must be policy advisors. We must be entrepreneurs, we must be researchers, and we must be technological developers. What outcome-based education will do to us, if we permit it to work, is that it's going to change the semantics. We will now be having engineers that bring product to the market. Before they even finish, industry will start. University must stop producing job seeker. Let's have patent startup. We have innovation hub in our own institution, and we have started more than, I'm not talking more than 30 or 40 companies that have started from the university. Because we have startups. We have ideas that have become solutions in the market. Indigenous engineering, we should be thinking of local material, local manufacturing. I pick leap from my HOD's presentation. There is nothing that stops us from producing liquid steel, but we have not been able to produce an iota ourselves. We are still importing billets because there is no intentionality. All right, let me be rounding up. This is digital engineering, okay? So we have identified the problem. What do we need to do? 5 strategic pillar, policy, and I think she mentioned it. Innovation, funding, research, and human capital development. Let me not waste time. This is just a further explanation on that. So engineering ethics also must also be in place. Now we should put sustainable design into SON standard, not just designing. Is it sustainable? So, and we must have standard for that. You know what SON does before is just give you standard. Now sustainability is important in what we do. All right? Integrity builds nation, but even when money is available, infrastructure can still fail if we have compromised professional ethics. Climate action, okay, please, let me just move. A national engineering roadmap that we are proposing, okay, if I can give this slide because I have just 1 minute more, all right? The 10-point agenda, if you are taking anything away from here, see infrastructure as a national capital, not an expenditure. Climate resilient design standards should come into our standard organizations and all the other standard maintenance of the country. Local manufacturing should be encouraged, and we should purchase it. Some of us do not like the solution that comes from us. You say, is it not a Nigerian engineer that does it? Wait, they say, is it not a Nigerian engineer? So we need to improve our skill as engineers so that we can be highly competitive. But we need that. Sustainable material is also important. Research industry collaboration. We have a company that came to us recently, picking one of our patents to launch. And that's the kind of thing that we should promote. Digital engineering adoption, long-term infrastructure planning, professional ethics, youth capacity development, and that's where we talk about young one and engineering national development. History will not remember how many roads we built. It will remember those roads that build prosperity. So are we constructing projects or are we constructing the future? So let me leave you with this. The greatest infrastructure Nigeria needs is not merely concrete, steel, or asphalt. It is visionary leadership, courageous engineering decisions, and a generation willing to build a nation that will outlive them. Thank you for having me.
Can we put our hands together for him once again? I want to sincerely appreciate our keynote speaker, Engineer Dr. Akani, for the wonderful and thoughtful presentation. My take home from his presentation is we should always see infrastructure as national capital, not as an expenditure. I think that should be another topic that we need to dwell on more properly. Before we move into our next agenda on our program, I want to use this privilege to recognize some dignitaries in our midst. And I want everybody to put our hands together for ourselves because all of us are very, very important. Can you do that for yourself, please? Thank you. We sincerely appreciate you for making it time to be with us there today and to celebrate with NSE BWARI branch. Our time has fast spent, and because of that, we want to make sure that we we stick to our time and make sure that all of us can leave this place as soon as possible. Permit me to recognize our branch patron in person of Engineer Mohammed T. Babakobi, FNSC. Sir, you are sincerely welcome, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you for making it time to be with us there this morning. And we have with us there again this morning, Engineer Ige Edward, FNSC, Chairman, Giri Branch. Sir, you are welcome, sir. We have with us Engineer Yetunde Alade Itan, PhD, FNSC, the National Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Petroleum Engineers. You are welcome, ma'am. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. We sincerely appreciate you. With us again this morning is Alhaji Lukman Olushola Yusuf from Yusuf Bako Oil and Gas International Company Limited. Is he in the house? Okay, thank you. Also with us this morning is Alhaji Nuruddin Abioye Yusuf, Youthstan Property. Is he around? Okay. All right. The student in the house. Are we tired? Let me see your hands up if you are from Nine University and University of Abuja. All right. We sincerely appreciate you for making it time to be here today. And I know from the first keynote speaker, there's a lot that is in the offer for you guys. And I believe our dynamic chairman of BWARI branch is going to work on it and see how the younger engineer is going to be more beneficial of NSE projects from now onward. Thank you very much for being with us there today. Also, we have with us the great Apwen Abuja branch chairman, Engineer Aminat Abdul Malik, MNSE. You are sincerely welcome, man. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. The next on our agenda is the reason why we are here today, and we want to sincerely go into the presentation proper, which is going to be anchored by our guest speaker, Dr. Bola Mudashir, FNSC, Acting National Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers. Sir, can we have you here, sir? Please put your hands together for him. I want to go through his citation. Initially, I wanted to do it in an abridged version, but I'm going to be fast with this, so I'm not going to waste our time. Standing before us this morning is Engineer Bola J. Mudashir. He's a current registered civil engineer, licensed professional of the World Council of Civil Engineers, and a global infrastructure leader with over 20 years experience delivering high-profile road, bridge, civil, and steel structure projects. As principal partner and CEO of Polaran Nigeria Limited, he leads strategic operation and project execution, consistently delivering complex infrastructure projects on time and within budget, through proven expertise in construction management, project control, cost estimation, regulatory compliance, and strategic people leadership. A respected safety professional and senior member of multiple national and international bodies. He holds the prestigious grade of Fellow in numerous professional bodies, including Nigerian Society of Engineers, FNSC, Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, FNICE, Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers, Institute of Highway Engineers, London, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers. I think we need to give him a round of applause. Institute of Professional Managers and Administrators, Institute of Leadership, Manpower and Management Development, Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria, and the Institute for Promotion of Maintenance Culture. He is also a member of American Society of Civil Engineers, the International Association of Safety Professionals, and the Project Manager Institute. His professional journey spanned leadership role with PW Nigeria Limited, Mutualty Contractors, Patton Morgan Holdings, SCOA Nigerian PSC, Aqua Growth Nigeria Limited, and Crisbor ESL, where he guided diverse teams in executing major civil and structural work nationwide. He serves as Deputy National Chairman of Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transport Engineer and sits on Nigerian Society of Engineers Board of Fellows and International Relations Committee. He also represents Nigeria on the Executive Board, External Relations Committee of the Federation of African Engineering Organization and participated in the working group on engineering and climate change on the World Federation of Engineering Organization and distinguished member. He is the Vice President-elect, Anglophone of West African Federation of Engineering Organization, a multiple award winner, an influential public speaker. Dr. Mudashiru served as a judge of Nigerian Engineering Olympiad and has delivered technical papers both domestically and internationally. His honors include the 2024 Presidential Merit Award of Nigerian Society of Engineers and the 2025 CED Magazine Professional Man of the Year. In recognition of his outstanding contribution to engineering and infrastructure development, Dr. Mudashiru has been honored with multiple awards and continues to present technical papers both nationally and internationally. His career exemplified a lifelong commitment to advancing engineering, excellence, sustainable development, and professional leadership on a global stage. Mr. Chairman, sir, the fellow, the engineer, and the guests, standing before us this afternoon is Engineer Dr. Bola J. Mudashiru. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Once again, I want to sincerely appreciate my own wonderful sister, Engineer Funmi Alonge. We have engineering used to be a male-dominated space, but we have female now that are doing well. And I want to sincerely want us to clap for Engineer Funmi, please. I have many female around me. They are very beautiful and with brain. I have my own engineer, Dr. Wuraola Atinuke, a member of NSE. Is not only that, past chairman of Lagos. She did excellently well also. And just pardon me that I've been biased this afternoon. I have to do that. Apologies. And my own Professor Yetunde Alade also. That's the national chairman of petroleum. And of course, there are a lot of females, but when I see these people, they have a special place in my heart. And I just need to do that before I do my presentation. And allow me to ride on a well-established protocol, Mr. President, ably represented by my own engineering guy of the Caribbean Furnace, sir, and the Korean rep here, the Jagavar himself, and our grand patron. I hope you also patron us too, in Nigeria's of Highway and Transportation Engineer. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much. If a politician spoke and an associate professor also spoke, what will I say? So let's see what we can do. My slide is there, and okay, my slide is there for reference purposes. That is just brief about me, and we'll definitely get the slide. we're looking at sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation. If our nation, Nigeria, must be resilient, our infrastructure needs to be sustainable. And what are the engineering solutions for growth and climate action? That is just the presidential agenda we have. And what I'll be talking about today, because of time, you will pardon me, my slides will move faster, but I'll definitely give it because we've spent so much of time while we had the keynote and we started a bit late. So you pardon me as I move the slide. And everything I'm doing is will just be around mainly SDG 13 that talks about sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 9 that talks about climate action. And it's very much important. We have the objective as shown over there. And the presentation also will also be in line with the 6th annual report in terms of IPCC that looks at climate risk assessments, adaptation pathways. Please can just take, okay, thank you very much. Annually, as a nation, we have this infrastructure gap of about 100 billion annually. And our population at the urban is growing at a very big, rapid rate of about 4%. And this tells us that there will be so much pressure on our infrastructure. Now, National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan tells us that if we must bridge the gap in the next, this was in 2020, in the next 43 years, as of then, we need about $2.3 trillion. We need to invest that. If we have to raise our infrastructure stock to about 70% of GDP. Now, what does this tell us? It tells us that we keep increasing in population. At the same time, there will be so much pressure on our infrastructure. Now, climate, our infrastructure is now a climate risk problem. We can't design the way we used to design previously. A design of 30 years, 50 years ago, cannot accommodate a scenario we have in terms of climate change. And the reality is that if we must keep doing things the way they should be, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, then we're in big problem. So as an engineer, we need to look at how can we design, how can we construct, how can we maintain, depicting the now reality and the future reality. So construction problem is now a climate risk, but the question is whether our urban system will adapt, thrive, or bend and break. Currently, we have a population about 220 million, as the case may be, and by 2050, Nigeria will become like 400 million. Cities like Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, and so on will definitely feel the heat of this growing population. And the NIMP source says 43 years, we need to invest 2.3 trillion. But African Development Bank is saying that currently you must, that your 2.3 that was about over 20 years ago, you must invest that in 10 years' time. So, but do we have the money to do that investment? It is no. Can government afford to do that? It is no. Government alone cannot fund projects. Now, even as we have all this, we also have losses from floods. And of course, they've talked about reactive maintenance, how we do things in Nigeria. Now, this takes us to a different slide that talks about the extreme. Now, that's a case of floods in some part of Nigeria. And I won't say, unfortunately, Abuja too is tasting what Lagos is tasting. In fact, somebody said that Abuja now is the new Lagos in terms of flood issues. Now, in 2022, Lagos experienced a massive flood that we lost over 600 people. And across 29 states, close to 3 million displaced. Now, 50 years ago, we never had situations like that. But now we have an issue of flood. And what can we learn from this? Because when flood happens anywhere in the world, the first question the engineer asks is, what can we learn from this? And what can we do about it? Now, in 2022, like I said, it was the worst flood we ever recorded. And Lagos really had this mega share from that. Now, the lessons is that we must think about urgent need for us to update our hydraulic modeling. Enforcement around flood-prone area. How do we develop our flood-prone area? Early warning systems and so on and so forth. And not only that, the situation we had in Abuja Saturday, as the case may be, is just a pointer that climate change is here to stay. And it's either you are mitigating the effects or you adapt. So more of what I've been doing is not to mitigate, but to adapt. It's a situation we are finding ourselves. And it's a global problem we have. Annually, globally, you are looking at annual losses in terms of floods. Without adequate green infrastructure planning, this would definitely expose us to the risk for flood, heat stress, water scarcity, and so on and so forth. So climate change is irreversible. That is the good news. I will not say that's the bad news. It's the good news. And the metrics that I have tried to explain to us from previous slide is to tell us that technical economic imperative for how we can integrate climate adaptation into infrastructure decisions across all scales. And for every $1 we invest in climate resilient infrastructure, in return, we are avoiding disaster losses between $4 and $6, according to World Bank. So what that simply means is that if I, as a president of Nigeria, invest into climate adaptation infrastructure, climate smart infrastructure, I would have been saving the future from losses. For example, if I'm to spend 100 billion naira now for a particular project around climate infrastructure, and I refuse to do that, it means in the next 10 years or 15 years, I will be spending $600 billion. So it calls for a major concern. So the question is not whether cities can afford to invest in resilience. It is whether we can afford not to. The funds are scarce. Like I said, government cannot fund all the projects. So cities would definitely be exposed to flood issues, to pollution, to heat stress, and so on and so forth. Now, resilient infrastructure is not just an investment, but it's a cost. Now, what is the cost? The cost comes around avoided disaster costs. You have stronger economic activity, long-term asset protection. Your property, in terms of the value of your property, is raised. You have jobs, green jobs creation, and of course, there's improved public health. So, building resilient infrastructure from scratch is more than you want to retrofit a failed system after a climate disaster. So, and what is our climate vulnerability assessment? Because when we design as engineer, we should look at what is the vulnerability of those infrastructure in terms of our climate vulnerability index. Now, as of 2024, Nigeria is ranked 157th out of 192. And the score is very low when you compare to other nations. Now, what's our readiness? 176 out of 192. This doesn't show seriousness, if you ask me. So this ranking reflects high vulnerability to climate change, and we have this very low readiness for us to adapt. Very, very low. So if we must build a sustainable infrastructure, a resilient nation, we must see climate resilience as a major requirement if we must grow and if we must invest. A Nigeria that cannot protect infrastructure cannot reliably say, I can deliver my commitment in terms of infrastructure development. So climate resilient infrastructure must be from day one. Like if I'm to do a particular road, how do I locate the road? How do I locate the bridge? Is it in a flood-prone area? What do I need to do? How do I need to do design around the vulnerability of those infrastructure in reference to climate? How do I do my capacity in terms of design and so on? How do I build and how do I operate it? From day one, climate resilience is important. From day one, the vulnerability of those infrastructure are very much important because we can't afford to do project and redo project and redo project. There was a time I happened to work with somebody, and the person tells me that every time people bring quotation, your bill is always very high. I told the person that, do you want to do a particular project once and you rest, or do you want to do it all over again? Nigeria must move from we want to do a project because we want to cut ribbon. We must move to where we can say that this project is good for us. That is the concept of climate vulnerability assessment. In terms of exposure, in terms of sensitivity, in terms of adaptive capacity, it is very much important. From day one, we have that in our mind. We must look at how can we model climate models to see how it could reflect engineering implications, solutions, and so on and so forth. So we must say, from projection to specification, how can engineers translate all these climate models, its outputs, and try to paint something about your future? So this discipline lies in selecting scenarios that are ambitious enough to future-proof assets without generating prohibitive cost premiums. Now, if you look at things generally around us, we understand that if we don't adapt or we don't move things, then we don't know what we're doing, or we find ourselves into problems. So we must turn risks into requirements, where for every risk that stays in the report and never enters the contract is just a wasted exercise. We have fantastic policy around climate change in Nigeria, but the implementation is something that is really worrisome. I must tell you, we have fantastic policies, a lot of policies around climate change and climate resilience, but implementation is a major issue. Governance is a major issue. So as engineers, we must turn risks into requirements. We must see how we can manage this infrastructure policy gap. And the question is, what must I do as engineer? We have building codes, and I think as far as I know, there's a current review, because the last review we had for Nigeria National Building Code was 2006 or thereabout, about over 20 years ago. But the question is that the reality we have now in terms of building is different from what it was in 20 years ago. So there must be update in terms of code. We must harmonize our planning data standards and advocate for best value procurement reform. We must move from a one-time investment project into let's spend more and keep that project running for generations to come. That is the concept behind building a resilient nation. So the maintenance gap is also a major problem in Nigeria. Our third mainland bridge was constructed around 1990 or thereabouts, and between I think 2011 and 2022, there was no maintenance done on third mainland bridge. And when the current minister wakes up and says, let's do something, we spent over 20 billion naira to do maintenance of just underwater assessments. Now, if you don't do, it's just like our body now. Our body works every day. If you don't maintain your body with good food, with good whatever it is, you will break down one day. Now, if you don't maintain your infrastructure, if you defer maintenance, definitely you will pay for it. As a nation, we will pay for it. In fact, every maintenance we defer, you pay for it, I pay for it. So maintenance is something that we must look into. Currently, we have about 5 trillion annually that we need to spend on maintenance. But the question is, how much are we giving to maintenance currently? You know the answer already. So if we must have an infrastructure that has a long life, we must take maintenance as adaptation. Proactive maintenance is very much important. But what we have in Nigeria is reactive maintenance. We construct and we ignore. So we must move from construct and ignore to a life cycle stewardship, where we build and will maintain. And politicians must understand that every money spent on infrastructure is not your money. The money belongs to the nation. So whether I build and I stop somewhere, someone should take after me and build and also maintain. And that is when we can have a resilient nation. So if we must avoid failure consequences, we must understand that we must spend in terms of maintenance, in terms of designing climate-related infrastructure and allow them to last. Now, the future is vertical. My chairman was talking about having your own building, having your own soccerway, having your own borehole, as the case may be. I have a house just built not quite long. I sunk the first borehole. No, I had 2 boreholes in the compound. One of the boreholes collapsed. I thought it's just like normal. And my neighbor came. It's an estate, like you mentioned. My next neighbor came and had a borehole. The old borehole also collapsed. So what came into my mind is that we have many boreholes around. And if we keep having sticking boreholes, borehole here, borehole here, borehole here, it's a matter of time. Everything will just keep caving in. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that we can't encourage spiral development or sprout development. We have to think about the future. And the future is vertical. The future is vertical in the sense that if we must get things right, population will keep increasing, and the future is vertical. Cities must go beyond spiral engagement. We must move into transit-oriented development. In some contexts, some people call it 15 minutes building or 15 minutes development, where you can build, you can access facilities like hospitals, schools, within 15 meters radius in terms of drive or whatever, in terms of walk. So we must try to develop our buildings. We must move vertically. Have more buildings that move vertically than you developing, building your own. I built my own, different borehole here, different soccer there. It's a future disaster. So the future has to be said that it has to be building around movement, where you can have this compact, walkable, and mixed-use communities. Now, this is the concept behind urban sprawl. Please, as soon as I'm getting close to 20 minutes, just let me know. Now, it talks about having a city of the future. Abuja, Lagos must think of having a city of the future. Currently, Abuja and Lagos and other major cities, we're only having cities of now and yesterday. We don't have cities of the future. The city of the future talks about TOD, transit-oriented development. And that is the concept where you have a city that all of us can live within 15 minutes radius. Now, there's a scenario I painted this way. In 2026, you have swamp area, you have westland. Now, in 2026, you have something like that. Now, in 1800, look at how beautiful that place looks at. 1950, look at it. In 2020, look at it. Every generation inherits less, and we call it normal. The question is whether we can afford to act. It is whether we can afford not to. We have to look at future-proofing our future. So the cities that thrive tomorrow are the ones that invest boldly. Now, I move straight to one area that I love so much that is very dear to my heart. That if we must talk about building, we must talk about going beyond gray infrastructure, beyond concrete. Nature itself is infrastructure. Blue-green engineering is very important for urban flood resilience. We must move away from where all the water, all the floor, everything, all the runoff just going to drain. And sometimes I just ask myself, I think if you're not an engineer, where is the water going? If you have water from the road, goes to the drain. Now, let me ask you, as a non-engineer, just assume you are not an engineer. Water moves from the road to the drain, and drain to where? Now, the city of the future, urban development, urban resilience, resilient nation, thinks this way, that all water must not go through the drain. And we must move beyond gray engineering. We must see how we do blue-green engineering if we must fight flood. I was discussing with a politician engineer, Atinuke Badsat, and we're talking about flood. If we must get things right in terms of flood, we must look at nature-based solutions, where you embrace urban forests, you embrace wetlands. Now in Lagos, somebody asked me some time ago that you keep having flood issue in Lagos. I said Lagos will keep having flood issues because, of course, it's a coastal city, but at the same time, Lagos decided to build on wetlands. You know, God is so special that He created some things that to manage the hedge for us. Now, the triple bottom line it was talking about people, planet, and profit. But do you know what we do in most cases, especially as even though politician is here, what we want to do is more of profit before the people and before the planet. But the true bottom line has to do with that. Think about the people first. How do you manage your people? How do you ensure the planet is well preserved before you talk about profit? So, one of the problems Abuja is having, quote me anywhere, is that most of the green infrastructure are being touched. There's a master plan. I'm not politicizing anything. There's a master plan. Fine, fantastic. But the question we should ask ourselves, Abuja master plan, is it well taken care of? Is it like religiously followed? My in-law in the UK said Abuja was built not to be like Lagos in terms of flood issue. He mentioned that about 2 days ago. Now, if we must curb flooding, we must embrace green infrastructure, wetlands, urban forests, and so on. Now, and if you look at it, wetland itself, we are losing wetland. I worked in a company some time ago. Because of my role, I do roads, but I told them that, why are you buying lands? Why are you buying wetlands? They said wetlands are very cheap. It's cheap, I'm making money, right? As a realtor, but the question is this, that is at the expense of our future. Development is good, but let us secure the wetlands. So urban forest parks, green walls, rain gardens, these are some of the things that can help us curb flooding issues. And they work in a situation way that they slow down water. When you get the water coming, I ask the question, where's the water going? Now, these are scenarios like in Singapore, like in Japan, and so on and so forth. They adopted this to manage flood. In 2012, in Copenhagen, they had this massive flood issue like we had in Nigeria. And they came and said, as engineer, what was the problem and what can we do? They said, we need to embrace green infrastructure. You have all this green infrastructure there to help you manage your storm water. And as they help you manage your storm water, they also reduce erosion issues. They also improve the air around you. That's why I tell people, if you are building a house, try to create a small green area. It has a way of improving your health and things around you. And beside this green, now look at permeable pavements. Concrete road, fantastic. Asphalt road, fantastic. But can we also have roads that can also take water, that will drink water? And those ones are called permeable pavements. You can construct those roads and they can still take water and there's no issue. They let water enter them through the roads and they just take care of it. And not only that, they also recharge the ground and give us water, but in a better way. So we must understand, according to Prof. Yongge Yu, in 2011, China also had this major flood issue. And this man came out and said, we can do something that is called sponge city. So I recommend also for Abuja, for Lagos, we must adopt what Professor Yu did. For us to manage flood, we must do what we call the sponge city. The concept behind sponge city is to manage stormwater naturally, reduce the effect, the flow. And what it does is that it helps to take the water, reduce it. Now, what can you do in terms of sponge city? You must think about urban forests. You must think about urban forests. Intentionally creating those forests there, they are urban. You must leave the wetlands. You must do green roof, you must do green walls. These are concepts of sponge city. They take the water, they slow down the rate of flow, they take the water in and discharge it gradually. And that is one of the major reasons why we must embrace this sponge city. That is my recommendation for Abuja and for Lagos and for other cities that is suffering from flood. We can't keep developing at the expense of people, at the expense of the planet. If you keep pushing water, water will one day push you back. That is what we are suffering. And that is the reality of life. I've mentioned this previously when they had this 2011 in Copenhagen. Now, beside that, this is Singapore also. I'm trying to move the slide. Now, he has talked about circular economy. Let me not dwell on that. Now, if we must get things right, we must also think that, like I build today, and in the next 10 years, the next governor come and say, demolish this building. Let us do a new building. We must move from demolishing a particular building, rebuilding another. We must move to where we can say this building was built 20 years ago. What can we do to improve this building and ensure that we're using it? I saw buildings in places like Italy, like Czech Republic, over 200 years. There was one hotel I stayed some time ago in Czech Republic. Part of the building was renovated, very beautiful hotel. While the other part looks like it's very ugly. But what do we do in Nigeria? A government comes, brings down a particular building, and build a new one, just to show that it built it. So we must move from demolish and build a new one into reshaping buildings into adaptive system where you can bring in some modular building components. Remember, we are talking about resilient nation. We are talking about sustainable infrastructure. We must look at adaptive reuse. There is this concept about building, about adaptive buildings. If an 8-year-old boy or girl can stay in a building, and an 80-year-old can also stay in that building, anybody can stay in that building. You must not bring those buildings down to build a new one. Remember, anytime we go back and reconstruct, we are taking from resources, and some people are paying for it. For every asphalt we put, for every concrete we put, some communities are paying for it. So we must move from just to build and waste. We must move into adaptive building, and so on and so forth. Now, the role of data is also very much important. We must get things right in terms of data. Fortunately, AI is here to stay, machine learning and so on are there. That's one of the ways we can gather data and see how we can project the future. Now, if I'm building a bridge, my bridge should last for 100 years. Now, any bridge Nigeria is building that is less than 100 years is waste of money. And not only that, we have to move from just build and contractor moves away. Every contractor that builds must maintain it. In fact, there must be this 10 years, wherever, saying that you must maintain the next 10 years. So we must move in a situation where data will help us to achieve all this. Now, I have how many minutes? No, not 10 minutes. I can't even see this. 5 minutes, okay. Now, small actions, a lot of people will bring big change. You do your part, let me do my part. Now, another problem we have with the issue of flooding, apart from tampering with master plan, is that some people deliberately will go and build on water pathway. You take a bottled water, you drop it. Where do you think the bottled water is going? Where do you think those sachets water is going? Those containers. They end up flooding everywhere. Most drains you have around Abuja, they need to be desilted. Those underground drains, that's just the truth. Apart from torturing plan and those things, but what do we do? How do we manage our waste? And we must also make sure that we keep telling people that don't just dump things into the drain when it is raining, because somewhere, somehow, we will pay for it, and that is what is happening now. And recently I heard that the FCT minister says some buildings will have to go down. Why must we get to that time where buildings must go down? Why don't we do what is right at the right time? if you do what is right, you maintain building regulations and floodplain developments set out, why must we keep demolishing? So we must understand that we must build new to maintain and optimize existing assets by maintaining all those assets, which is very much important. It's very much important, I say this, that the decision we make in the next decades will define our infrastructure as a nation in the next 50 years. We must choose wisely, design boldly, and also build to last. Now, I'm closing out now. The question is no longer whether cities can adapt. The question is whether the engineering profession will lead that adaptation with boldness, with rigor, equity at its core. We do not inherit infrastructure from our predecessors. We borrow it from our successors. Every design decision we make today is a gift or a burden to the engineers, communities, economies of the next generation. Sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation is our engineering legacy. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for that excellent presentation. You have given us much to think about as we consider the relationship between sustainable infrastructure, transportation, economic growth, and national resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let us appreciate our guest speaker. During his speech, so many important guests also walked in. So join me to welcome Engineer Ajiro Timi I Olarenwaju FNSC, immediate past chairman of BWARI branch. I also want us to welcome Engineer David T. Boaz, FNSC, former executive secretary, NICE National. Also, let us join me and welcome Engineer Van Deyon Tetsia Isheg, FNSC, past chairman, BIDA branch, member, Central Planning Committee, Maiduguri 2026. We also have to warmly welcome our dear inductees. Tomorrow is your day. Please come well dressed. You have to dress in corporate. When you are wearing a suit, please add a tie. If you are wearing native, please make it complete with a cap. Remember to come with your loved ones and well-wishers for tomorrow's event. The induction is going to take place tomorrow. For those who want to be, who won't be available physically, we will also create an opportunity to also carry them along. Please. Please, our dear inductees, try and meet at the back after the program to meet with the secretary. Our secretariat is behind us. If you just look back, you see a table there. That's our secretariat. Please ensure to meet the secretary before. You can see somebody is waving his hand over there. Ensure you meet them at the end of the program. Also join me and welcome Engineer Dr. Jafaru O. Mahmood, FNSC, FRAES, MNI. You are highly welcome, sir. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate your sacrifice to be here today to grace our occasion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now come to goodwill messages. We are honored to have distinguished professionals, leaders, partners, and friends of the engineering profession with us today. Their presence and words of encouragement are an important part of this conference. As engineers, we understand the importance of efficiency, sequencing, and time management. So in the spirit of good project management, we will respectfully ask our goodwill speakers to keep their messages concise so that we can accommodate everyone. May I now invite our first goodwill speaker, who is Engineer Mohammed T. Babakobi, FNSE, FIMC, for his goodwill message. Please, we beg you to keep it short as 2 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon, fellow participants. Let me stand on the existing protocol, but particularly recognize the chairman of this occasion and the president of the Society of Engineers, my president, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, ably represented my brother. Thank you for coming. As the patron of the branch, I want to extend my good message to all of you, especially the distinguished speakers, the keynote addresses, and my brother, the guest speaker of the highways, one of my constituencies. Thank you very much. I think, as usual, the BWARI branch has done us proud again. And we have always, as always, we have brought another very tough topic, and something that will trigger policymakers and decision makers in the public sector, even in the private sector, to look at the climate question and be able to bring in beneficial intervention into it, including funding. Today, as somebody that has worked railway before, I know that in railways, we are trying to promote and present our case for financing through the SEE, that's social, environmental, and economic prism. And I know that a lot of people are interested simply because we are trying to look at and we know they are trying to look at the sustainability issue that railway offers as benefit. So I want to congratulate my people in the branch, Engineer Fumbi, and the able past chairman of the branch, and all the good members of the branch for their effort and unstoppable, continuous contribution to important national discourse. That I commend the organizers, and I believe the decisions and resolutions and all the issues that have been raised in this forum today will go ahead to come to Nigeria's infrastructure, sustainability, and resilience in terms of development. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir, for those kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, our next goodwill message will come from the representative of the president of Koren, Engineer Dikpo Mabogaji, PhD, past chairman of NSE Meitama branch, past president of National Institution of Facility Management. Sorry, past national chairman, not president.
Thank you very much. I stand on the well-established protocol by recognizing NSE president and patron and senior colleague that came for today's occasion. On behalf of Chairman of Council, Engineer Professor Sadiq Sube Abubakar, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, is extending his warm greeting to the NSE BWARI branch that they are doing well. And based on the roadmap of Koren, which one of the guest speaker, engineer professor from Nile University talked about, our roadmap are just 13 from 2023 to 2027. From there, we'll now be able to measure the KPI and look at what we have been doing. Are we doing it well? And to do reverse engineering. Based on my directive from the president, he loved NSE BWARI branch to collaborate with Koren in whatever they want to achieve from us. And we have gone far ahead by considering carrying capacity of university, that you can't just admitting people or UTME will now admit a lot of students in engineering or dumping them in engineering. Such a thing will not happen again. And it has been approved by the council, and they have taken it to NUC for ratification. And apart from that, we now go long way concerning the Washington Accord by extending to Dublin Accord and Sweden Accord to cater for the Polytechnic is on the way. And there's another thing that we are doing now, work plan, so that all activities in the region, state offices, everything will go on smoothly. That is, we should go back to the grassroots of engineering practice in order to monitor all the activities in respect of the 11th sector of engineering, not just only construction and built environment. But because of the time limit, he has agreed that he would love to work with all engineering practitioners in Nigeria to move engineering forward by special grace of God. Thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you very much, the Jagaban of engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, the next goodwill message will come from Engineer Yetunde Oladeitan, PhD, FNSE, National Chairman of Nigerian Institution of Petroleum Engineers. Thank you very much, ma'am. Please keep clapping so that it will encourage her to work faster. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. She's also one of my mentors, all the way from University of Abuja.
Wow. Well, I was caught unawares. The chairman of the occasion, the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSE, ably represented, okay, I can't see him again, by Engineer Felix Nwako, FNSE, and our distinguished colleagues here. Please permit me to stand on the already very well established protocol. It's really been a learning experience personally for me today, and I want to use this opportunity to thank the chairman of NSE BWARI branch. I think she's been doing very well, and I'm proud because she's a woman. Apologies. In fact, I don't even have apologies, because wherever there's a woman, I think we need to fan for ourselves. Even when people are not applauding us, we need to applaud ourselves. So please, a round of applause for the women. Women are leading change now, so thank you very much. I think, sorry, can I see? Okay, so we know the theme of today's discourse, which is sustainable infrastructure. Let me read it. Sustainable infrastructure, resilient nation, engineering solutions for growth and climate action. We've all been talking about sustainability, and basically sustainability is about economic viability, it's about social responsibility, and it's also about environmental friendliness. So whatever we do, regardless of our branches, various divisions of engineering, be it petroleum, materials, electrical, we need to, imbibe sustainability in whatever we do. I mean, the guest speaker, the keynote speaker, they've really done a fantastic job concerning that. So once again, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me, and I wish NSE BWARI branch a successful deliberation. I believe they still have a lot of things to do. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ma. The next goodwill message will come from Engineer Samuel Alabi, FNSC, from Seven Ocean. Is he here? Okay. Please, a hand of applause so that it will encourage him to come here quickly. Please, we beg you to keep the time to 2 minutes, please, so we can leave here on time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. You will please permit me to stand on the protocols that have been very well established. I want to congratulate the ESCOs of the Nigerian Society of Engineers BWARI branch for a very meritorious time in office and for living up to the expectations and for being able to put together this very wonderful program today and with a very carefully chosen topic as well. And let me also add that congratulations to every one of us that were able to make it here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. At this distinguished ladies and engineers, ladies and gentlemen, a conference is not only about discussing ideas. It's also about recognizing the people who have contributed to the growth of our profession. We now come to the presentation of awards. This is a moment of celebration. It is a moment to appreciate excellent service, commitment, and contribution to the engineering profession and to our society. As each award recipient is called, I kindly request that you join us in celebrating them with a well-deserved round of applause. At this moment, I call on the chairman, Engineer Fumbi Alonge, to chair the process.
Good afternoon, everyone. I believe we have something to take home. It's not all about the conference. What's the life after the conference? The keynote speaker has really challenged me to do more. And our associate prof too has also challenged us so that we should not be an engineer by name, we should be an engineer by impact. How does our immediate environment stay? How does they feel our impact? So please, as we go home today, forget that you are a student. I want to welcome all the old students in the house. Thanks for coming. It's not, as a student, you have something to do. I remember when I was a student, I was the NOESA acting president then in Futmina. And we were the one that started NOESA National then. We were inaugurated in Enugu, Owerri. It's not all about that. For the first time, from Futmina, we went all the way to Ghana. Then we were in Association of Black Engineers. We make sure that we learn from outsiders. So, and I believe as a student, you have a lot of things to do. Then, if I have anything to do, I call on my governor then, Muazu Babangida. He has been a supportive governor during my own tenure when I was in Futmina. And that was the urge I brought out from school, and I did a lot of things. Even when I was serving, I employed some of my core members that could not get a place for placement. Then I was running petrol tests in Calabar. That was when I opened my company, First Scope Management Limited. I employed 4 coppers, and I paid them more than what they were even paying me. Because then I was serving at Waterboard. Those that could not have a place of placement, I employed them. So as a student, look for what to do. Don't just go to school and think everything you will be handled like a baby. The keynote speaker, the guest speaker, they have really encouraged us today. Please let us build a green environment around us. Let us do our best as an engineer. So on this note, I want to appreciate everyone. I want to appreciate the president in person of Engineer Olayinka. Thank you so much, sir. You represented him. You are still the president of this occasion and the chairman of the occasion. Then I want to appreciate the father of the branch. He is Engineer Babakobi. When I came to BWARI, I never knew that I would have a father from my state. He would say, Fumbi, come to my office, let us sit down. I will be there. I will tell myself when I'm going, I will only use 1 hour. I will not know when I will stay there for 5 hours. I will just sit down, we'll talk. He said, do like this, do like this. Sir, I want to appreciate you for your fatherly advice. Then I want to appreciate the keynote speaker and the guest speaker. I only met the keynote speaker once during the inauguration of the president. So she just greeted me and left. When I needed a keynote speaker, I just called her on the phone. I never meet her physically. He said, Engineer Fumbi, don't worry, I'll do it for you. Just give me the dates. And that was the end. Ma, I really want to appreciate you. I know, it's not easy to see some politician. You will call and call, but if I call her 1 a.m., she will reply me. 1 a.m. Because I'm somebody that I love to work after 11. I will call her, even my guest speaker. I will say, sir, I'm sorry. And before you know it, I will saw their reply. Sir, you are really a true brother and a sister to me. Engineer Dekule, I only met him once. Through engineer, Associate Prof. Akim. He said, Ma, don't worry. I have somebody that will split this topic for you. I've never met him to discuss with him and see what he did for us. You are just a wonderful person. And I don't know what I did to mechanical. I don't know you are from mechanical department. Last year when I needed someone to talk on steel, I went to the same prof. He said, don't worry, I'll give you engineer Ogedengbe. When he told me, I said I want to use Professor Mambo. He said, no, we have somebody that will use. I never knew it's the same mechanical. I want to appreciate you, Professor Akim. You have been a brother to the branch. I really want to appreciate you. Ma, Engineer Yetunde Ma, you have been a mentor. Anytime I see you on the platform, I feel encouraged that one of these days, Ma, you encourage me. Recently, I started my MBA. I was like, I don't want to do anything again. But when I now look at it, I said, somebody told me, you should learn how to do leadership very well. When I started my MBA with University of Abuja, I was challenged with her. I said, if she can reach to this level and let me try and do something. I want to thank you. Secretly, you are my secret admirer academically. Thank you so much. To the president representative, I met with the president of Korean. I said, sir, I know you are too busy, but I want you to grace my occasion. He said, Fumbi, don't worry. If I'm not coming, I will send someone. When he called me, he said, I'm bringing in Engineer Dipo. I said, okay, he's my brother. I'm good to go. Engineer Dipo, the Jagaba of engineering family, I want to appreciate you. Engineer Kutiji, my colleague, my senior, my mentor, I want to appreciate you. We are from the same foot, Mina. And I'm seeing my guy in the house, Engineer Jafar. Thank you so much, sir, for coming all the way from Mina. He called me this morning. He said, Fumbi, I'm on my way from Mina. I want to appreciate you, sir. I cannot thank you enough. Please, before I do any presentation of award, I have my colleagues. I want us to please stand up a minute for the Matama branch chairman, because he always graced my occasion. Today, I look back, I did not see him. He's a wonderful person. When I had the news on Sunday 2nd, I was not feeling fine, but it added to my health challenge. I could not go out for a week. But he's a very good friend. Even if I didn't send him any message, he would say, you are my sister, we are doing it together. We are doing it together. Don't worry, everything is gone. He used to encourage me, please, 1 minute silence for him. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So on this note, I want to call on the President representative, sir, Engineer Olayenka, for the presentation of award for the guest speaker. Sir.
This token is presented to the keynote speaker, the guest speaker? The guest speaker, Engineer Dr. Bola Jemudashiru, on behalf of NSE BWARI branch for a job well done to the theme of the conference. And it's just a token appreciation. Perhaps we cannot have awarded you enough. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
Speaker one, ma. Sir, I'll call on the patron, sir.
Once again, distinguished participants, allow me or permit me to have the honor to present this special award to one of our great keynote speakers this afternoon, in the person of Engineer Dr. Atinuke Urola. Yeah, Atinuke Urola, for your very great, nice rendition. It was quite educative and with a lot of insight. And you have taken the topic from all around, that capture all endeavor on sustainability and resilience of infrastructure, including woman, very important woman, and you have localized and domesticated what you should do in Nigeria. I appreciate you. I thank you very much on behalf of the branch. Thank you very much. We call on you again and again.
I want to call on the President Representative, Engineer Mo Bobaj. Sir.
On behalf of NSE BWARI branch, I will call on Engineer Associate Professor, we are getting there, Adekunle what? Akoni Adeleke, for presenting a keynote speak for us on this AGM. May Almighty God reward you abundantly. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. I want to appreciate the branch chairman of GIRI. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for all your patience. We have, the day has been fast spent, so we get to the last part of today's auspicious event, which is the closing prayer, the vote of thanks. Okay, by the chairman, I'm sorry. By the chairman of the planning committee. We call upon the chairman of the planning committee for his vote of thanks. Then we'll now move to the final stage of the event, which will be handled by my co-MC.
Good afternoon. All protocol duly observed. I would like to thank our President, Engineer Ali Alimasoye Arabi, FNSC, ably represented by Engineer Abdulhamid Olayenka, FNSC, the President of Koren, ably represented by our own Engineer Dipo Mobogaje, FNSC, our patron and our father, Engineer Mohammed Tiwabakubi, FNSC, all chairmen of branches in Abuja, starting from the mother of all branches in Abuja, engineer, the chairman of Abuja branch, engineer Kuchigi, chairman of Giri branch, engineer Ige Edward, FNSC, and the immediate chairman of Meitama branch of blessed memory. All our distinguished guests from the University of Abuja, Nile University, our guest speakers, our keynote speaker, member of the press, everybody present here today, we really appreciate your presence. We acknowledge your presence here and we look forward to seeing you in our subsequent programs. Our next program, God's willing, will come up in February or March next year for our annual public lecture. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for being here.
I believe we can do more better. Let's appreciate the Chairman Planning Committee, Engineer Zakari Yao, for the wonderful vote of thanks. Distinguished engineer and gentlemen, what an inspiring and impactful gathering this has been. Today's discussion have reminded us that infrastructure is not simply about roads, bridges, building, water system, and other physical assets. It is about people, livelihood, economic growth, environmental sustainability, and the future resilience of our nation.
As engineers, we have a responsibility to move from designing infrastructure that merely functions today to creating infrastructure that can withstand tomorrow's challenges.
Let us therefore leave this conference with a renewed commitment to engineering excellence, innovation, sustainability, climate action, and national development.
On behalf of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, BWARI branch, I sincerely appreciate our distinguished guests, speakers, members, partners, and newly inducted engineers. Okay, not inducted yet, our inductees, and everyone who contributed to the success of this event. Thank you for coming.
God bless the Nigerian Society of Engineers. God bless the Elite branch, BWARI branch. If you are from BWARI branch, let me put your hands together for yourself. God bless the engineering profession, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Have a safe journey. The program still continues tomorrow. We'd love to see you radiating in your best attire tomorrow. Let's come together and celebrate ourselves tomorrow. Now, all right, let us stand up and have our national closing prayer. All right? closing prayer. The national prayer, please. Let's take it once and for all. O God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Thank you. National anthem, please. Thank you very much. Please, group photograph, please.
And please, our inductees, don't forget to meet the secretary at the secretariat behind. Thank you. Wishing you all the best as you go back home. Group photographs. Okay. Sorry, we'll give the chairman electoral committee his time. Please, the program has not ended for the members. If you know you are a registered member of BWARI branch, we are having our elections today. So wait behind. Financial registered member. If you are not if you have not been contributing financially, you are not supposed to be here. Financial registered members.
Please do come back after the photographs. Thank you.